name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And it's fair to say Doctor Who is in a bit of a strange state right now. I think probably one of the strangest states I've ever seen. Well, actually, it's been in a bit of a strange state for the last few years, hasn't it? Okay, let me rephrase it. I think Doctor Who's in an all-new strange state right now, right? I was making several strange states over the last couple of years. The strange state that it's in right now is that it's not doing very well, right? Not doing well. Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker took over Doctor Who a number of years, about 3 years ago. And you know, they wanted to usher in a whole new age of stunning and brave entertainment, where you know, toxic men can learn that women can be people too, right? Women can be authority figures too. Didn't really work out so well because, as it turned out, most people believed that up until the point when they started to ram it home over and over again. That Basically, you know, the problem is that people doing these things are baby-brained morons, right? And they like to say things they hear the word yes to, right? Yeah, those naughty National Socialists, I can't say it on YouTube, those naughty National Socialists from Germany in the 1930s, they were bad, right? Yes, they were bad. No, they were super bad, and I think they were bad. Yeah, they're baby-brain morons. So anyway, they had this... I think a rough number of years where Doctor Who went from one of its most successful points ever when Jodie Whittaker started to its least successful right now. I mean, it's in the doldrums. It's really not doing well. Under normal circuit in the old BBC, it would be cancelled by now. If this was '89, it will be cancelled. But we live in a different world. We live in a world where the money men really control things, and the money men know that this franchise is valuable, right? And that's all they know. It's the same with Star Trek, same with Star Wars. The money people know it's valuable, but they don't know enough to get the right people working on it. So they basically know they screwed up. The Emperor's got new clothes. And so we're in the situation right now where we got Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker are leaving. I think that was met with much elation. They got 9 episodes to go, but boy, are they a lame duck 9 episodes, right? Because they are dead men walking right now, or dead people walking, dead men and women walking. I don't want to assume anybody's gender, but yeah, and the media has totally turned on them. I'm not really sure why. It could be the same as Biden right now. Biden, the media, after supporting him relentlessly, has turned on him after I'm recording this on August 20th. So this week we had the very, very, very humiliating fall of, well, humiliating for America. For the Taliban, it was a great day. The Taliban did very well. But straight enough, this crisis to me seems no worse than many of the other crises that have gone on in the last 7 months. But this is the one where the media went, no more. And so, you know, and they turned on him, much like they turned on Chris Chibnall. My theory is that they're mad at him, both Biden and Chibnall, for their failure, right? For they came in, they were supposed to be doing this incredible job, be a white knight savior, and now they're mad at him because they just screwed up completely, and they look ridiculous, and everybody knows they look ridiculous. And the more they say they don't look ridiculous, the more ridiculous they look. So they turn on. So anyway, we're in the situation right now, which I don't think we've ever been in the entire nearly 60-year history of Doctor Who, that we have a showrunner leaving and no idea who's taking over. Normally, when Russel Davis left, handed over to Stephen Moffat. Stephen Moffat left, handed over Chibnall. In the classic Who, they had it over immediately. We knew who the new producer was immediately. There was no time when we didn't. And listen, if you're an archive specialist, or more so than me, you might know. But I don't think there's been any time when this has happened. So, under normal, if this was classic Who, it would be cancelled by now, I think. But it's not, because as I said, it's the money men are in control, and they know it must continue, right? There's not an option for it not to continue. So the speculation is, who is the next showrunner, right? Who can pull Doctor Who out of the nosedive it's in? And I don't think it's a done deal that that the people who have destroyed Doctor Who know why it's been destroyed, right? Know why it's so crushingly unpopular. So they may try and do the same stupid things again that made it so crushing. But I don't know. Maybe cooler heads. Maybe there's just not the financial latitude to be able to do that. But then again, we see with CBS, Paramount, they keep doing the same Star Trek, and it doesn't matter how unpopular it is. Like this is the first time ever there's a new episode of, what was it, Lower Decks. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. Not interested. Not reviewing it. I'm done. I'm out. And I think if they go the wrong way in Doctor Who, we're going to be there in a few years as well. A lot of people already are there. I'm talking like insane nutballs like me, you know. So anyway, there's been a lot of speculation. Who is the next showrunner? We're going to look at a few things actually. There's we're going to look at Radio Times articles going over the options. I think there's options. We're going to bring you up to date on at least one bid to take over, and we're going to look at Bleeding Cool, who are very upset for a reason that I really can't understand. Now, there have been some YouTube channels that have said absolutely dootly, the new showrunner is hired, the new they know who the new Doctor is, it's all done, it's filmed, it's a done deal, they're ready to go. Now, that faction of people, I believe, are the ones that would like the Doctor Who continue in the incredibly unpopular direction it's been going in, and they're talking nonsense, as we found out again from that one bit. But anyway, before we get into it, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. My subscribers are doing pretty well. I think I've been oscillating between 3 and 4 away from getting up to the next 3,100 and 3,140, 30. I don't know. But we've been generally moving up. So if you're subscribed, please make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed, if you can consider hitting the subscribe button, that'd be fan-dabby double dose. If you want to comment, that's actually really good for me. That really genuinely helps me. Thank you very much. And you want to be super nice? Check out my Indiegogo. And I think this is the last week I'm going to be saying this. Right? I thought this about 3-4 weeks ago, but I really think this is the last week I'm going to say this. So this Indiegogo, it's 2 graphic novels, and I've been remastering it in a way I wasn't planning on doing to just make it we're using a new printer, and I really want to make it look as good as possible. So this just taken about a week and a half. So I finished remastering this one. Although, you know, I have to tell you, there's 2 pages towards the end. I was never happy with the writing on it. I think I'm gonna rewrite those 2 pages, the dialogue on those 2 pages, and re-letter it. That's about half a day's work. Okay, that's nothing big. And it's 220 pages long, very biblically accurate, not preachy at all. I wrote and drew it, and it's very good. I have to say, I just looked over again. I was remastering it. It's actually very good. I'm very proud of it. So there's also this one, the Imperium, which I've just finished mostly remastering, but I'm adding some new things into it. The Imperium is a love letter to Telefancy 960s. I wrote this. Dominic Racho did the artwork. Just fantastic artist, absolute fantastic artist. And I am very optimistic right now that we may continue this one with a second volume. Watch this space. I think I might do it on a thing called Substack. So there, 105 pages on Dominic Ratchet. Imagine James Bond, Doctor Who, Emma Pill, Monkey in the Spacesuit, and the Black Slab from 2001. All in one group together. We got a bit of Prisoner in there, a bit of Thunderbirds. So the remastering of this is done. I'm adding in 3 or 4 new pages over on the backup strip called the Ice Warriors. These are 1-page strips, so I want to make sure you get all of those in there. They're freaking awesome. I love the Ice Warriors. Stefano Cardoselli did the artwork on them, and we because the campaign's done well, we're adding in 5 pages. I gotta get those 3 extra pages done. I gotta letter the other 5 pages. So I'm thinking, I'll give you a timeline, right? It's Friday, the 20th of August right now. I'm thinking getting the pages lettered and adding in those 3 more pages. That's going to take maximum 2 days. So that'll be Sunday, Monday, and then to redo that lettering and there's on biblical. That's probably Tuesday. And then I got to do the posters and the postcards. So I reckon by Wednesday we're going to be ready to go to print. That's the goal. What posters? Well, we got this one, Noble Savages. We got all these postcards for the male gaze. I can't wait to get these. Really, I can't wait to get like the physical versions in my hand. I honestly, I can't wait for you guys to get them either. Let's have a look at Perry, because she looks so good. I mean, like, apparently not. It's not going back to it. Okay, 1 second. There you go, a bit of Perry, and of course the lovely Princess Leia. Fine. So go check that out. I hope the update was helpful for you. Fine. Let's talk about Doctor Who. So let's start over here. So the first name that was publicly thrown into that's the wrong one over here. Although, you can't do that too often. Really? There you go. That's bad. The first name, very publicly thrown into the hat was J. Michael Strasinski, who I think is great news. I think he'll be great. He became famous from Babylon 5. But he's got a really good resume of comic writing as well. He did a great run on Spider-Man. Generally speaking, I think he's a very good, strong writer, and I think he knows how to pull things together. He's American though, so I'm not sure how accessible he's going to be to the BBC. But anyway, so we've had some Doctor Who channels saying, yeah, it's all done, it's a done deal, it's signed, sealed, and delivered. Then he sent out this tweet yesterday. Contact with the BBC has been made. He said about a week or so earlier a couple of weeks earlier that he would be interested, right? And again, great casting with the BBC. They're going through their own process, which began before my tweet, and that has to run its course. So their own processes. They got a short list of people that they're considering. And they're begging them and they're getting them to say yes, right? I think that's where they are. So who's the short list we're going to be looking at in a minute? Has to run its course. But if those don't pan out, i.e., all the people they want to do it, desperately want to do it, say no, which very likely. At the moment, I think very, very likely. And there's this discussion we had, they will reach out. Very courteous, so... we'll see where their process leads. So interesting, right? What was he just being fobbed off by the BBC? No, I think the BBC have everything on the table right now. They're putting everything up on the table, and nothing is being rejected because again, they know they got a gold mine with Doctor Who, and they know they're not exploiting it. And I hate to use that word, but they're not exploiting it to its potential, which is something that's just not allowed to happen. A question is, will the suits be able to understand why it's not working? Are you able to quantify Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker's failure? Maybe, but there's a lot of people within the BBC who the commercial realities don't really mean much to. So I think they're going to try and obscure it and go, well, Netflix, yeah, nobody watches anything because of Netflix. No, nobody watches anything BBC because you make garbage. So then, before we get into the list of people, we have this weird little article on Bleeding Cool, which normally has a weird little article by Ray Fluke, and he's really upset. He's really, really upset that people are dismissing an American showrunner out of hand. Doctor Who showrunner Law. I think you mean Law is a W-O-R, was it L-O-R-E? Ultimate Vision fanboy gatekeeping. So yeah, he's really upset that they don't want there to be a non-British showrunner, right? I've never seen this sentiment, right? I'm reasonably active in fandom, mate, right? I'm reasonably active. What the hell are you talking about? I have no clue what he's babbling on about. It's J. Michael Strasinski was kind of met with people going, yeah, okay. I think was it a couple of years ago when who was it? Stephen King's son who did Lock and Key, which really I never got past the 3rd episode of that, which I felt bad because kind of interesting, but not interesting enough to get me past the 3rd episode. Jonah Hill, is that him? I can't remember, but he was interested. Apparently, there are people going, no, it cannot be somebody American or non-English. I don't see why. I mean, here's the thing. I do think the Britishness of Doctor Who is in it within its DNA, and I think each nation has its own culture and has its own language to a certain extent, right? So yeah, the Americans and the British are different. I think you can see that comparing Doctor Who to Star Trek. In Doctor Who, in Star Trek, you have everybody in the Enterprise is the best of the best, right? #1 graduates from Starfleet. They're all the best of the bestest ever on the bestest ship in the fleet, being the bestest ever. I mean, fortunately, in Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, they actually were pretty competent. Nowadays you have like Voyager, where they're just not Voyager, Discovery, where they're like babbling morons. They still somehow don't get destroyed. Now compare that to Doctor Who. Doctor Who wasn't the best of the best. He really couldn't care less about accreditations, right? He got, I think he either failed or he got like a low grade on his degree, whatever it is, and then he stole a TARDIS and ran off saying that he couldn't care less about the trappings of success, right? He really couldn't care. He wanted to live life. And again, I think that's a real difference in cultural outlooks to the British and the British and Americans. The British like, not a failure, but they like an underdog. They like somebody who's not concerned with being the bestest ever all the time, right? They British guys like the Americans a little bit less so, I think. So that's the only thing I would be concerned about. And actually, the thing I would be concerned about with American showrunners is they try and make it too British, and it doesn't really work. I remember when Brian Azzarello took over Hellblazer, which is an American comic about an English character, John Constantine. And it just, I mean, it was a fantastic run. It was a really, really good run. But what he did, he took this character and put him in America. But, his English dialogue was not good, right? So it's the same thing. But yeah, listen, I have no idea what this guy's, what Ray Fluke's so upset about. I don't hear anybody going, no Americans, no! So let's see who people are saying, right? Let's see who they are saying. Who should be the next showrunner? Who's Doctor Who's next showrunner be, according to fans? Well, this is interesting. I wonder what where the data came from. Sally Rainwright, Toby Whithouse, J. Michael Strasinski, Whovians weigh in on who to pick for Chris Chibnall's successor. This is from 3 days ago. Doctor Who is regenerating. Thank God. Thank God. I mean, I think the reason we're all so excited is that, look, it could be equally bad. The new Doctor Who could be equally bad or worse. I mean, I don't see how it could be worse, right? And it's always a mistake to say that, because I remember at the end of season 11, I went, it can't get any worse. It can't be worse. And I think they're putting monsters in season 12. This is before. Go back and look at my channel. There's a video from December, just before December 2019. So just before the world imploded and season 12 came out. And I was like, I'm ready to give it another go. Because I was really hoping they were going to course correct, and it looked like they had the master in. They had their big budget effects. They had monsters. It looked like they may have course corrected, but what they did in some ways, but in other ways, Jodie Whittaker's performance is still shockingly awful. Just shockingly awful. It's breathtaking how bad it is, isn't it? I was amazed, but anyway. I was like, how can it get? It got much worse, didn't it? With Jodie Whittaker confirmed to be leaving the BBC sci-fi drama behind, the hunt is on for her replacement. And I really thought it was going into was it hiatus for a bit? I think it's still maybe, but I think the financial element of saying, look, this is a property, we have to be able to exploit it. I'm using that word deliberately. It might force it forward. I'm just intrigued to see who they're going to come up with at this point. Because again, I wasn't sure they were going to come up with anybody. Now I'm reasonably sure they are going to come up with somebody. And will we know who they are by the time Whittaker leaves? Probably. I mean, I think she's finishing filming this week or next week. Very, very, very soon. And then if I was her, I'll go undercover. I'll find another job really quickly if I was you, Jodie. But the identity of the Fourth Doctor is only half the story. You see, the head writer and showrunner Christian was also departing. Yay! A new creative lead must be appointed to put their spin on the Whoniverse. With the BBC currently remaining tight-lipped about who the new generation, who or what the new generation will be. Yeah, saying a new generation makes me worried, and it's a statement by Piers Wenger. Piers Wenger, I think, is the most responsible one of the most responsible for the awful Doctor Who that we've seen for the last few years. I think he's fully behind the diversity and inclusivity racism that the BBC loves to indulge in, and it is racism. There's no other way of describing it other than, I mean, if you go on the interwebs, you will see all this like footage from people, all the parents in America who have noticed the racism that is being taught to their children, right? And they're appalled. It's called critical race theory. The 1619 project, and it's exactly the same mentality that Piers Wenger has. They don't believe that they believe if you're a black person, you're not going to be able. Well, firstly, in America, they believe if you're a black person, you can't get ID. Again, I'm not exaggerating these. The supposed anti-racists say that black people are too stupid to get ID, right? They've just instituted this COVID regulations, which essentially bans black people from restaurants and gyms and clubs. I mean, really? I mean, I guess water fountains too. I mean, if you really want to go for that traditional segregation, that's where I think that's where they need to go to. But anyway, so Piers Wenger totally on board the racism. I think this is the reason why Clara plays such an incredibly central role in the entirety of her time in Doctor Who. And it got more and more so because they believe women to be an oppressed minority in the Western world, even though they're the majority and no one's really oppressing them, as far as I can see. I mean, I do think bad things happen to women uniquely because they're women, but I think equally bad things happen to men uniquely because they're men. And I do think men and women are, generally speaking, it's kind of like a cornerstone part of your identity. It's not, you don't like zip on and zip off your gender, no matter what they say on TikTok, and they say it a lot on TikTok. It doesn't really matter what they say on TikTok, does it? Fine. So you think who the next generation might be? In recent weeks, we put forward ideas and theories on what could come next for Doctor Who. Yeah, they don't know because nobody knows. Nobody knows. And again, any channel, any outlet that tells you they got a scoop, they probably don't. I mean, the best people I found so far is Noel on the TARDIS Zone. You should go over there and subscribe if you're not subscribed to it. He's normal. I think he's got a strong success rate. He's got like 80% success rate, and he always says, "Look, this is a rumor. I don't know," and he tells you what you think. Because of him, I say because he makes such gross claims. Say this is just rumor, speculation, and then the Twitter crazers go, he's saying this and he doesn't know. I always introduce rumor by going, "They're all true. 100%. These aren't rumors. These are facts." Because I'm like, well, why not? Okay, but all important behind the scenes change. We thought we would highlight some time that someone asked the fans what they wanted from the next showrunner. Okay, so let's hear what they got to say. Now, after some time working with online focus groups, social media pages, and simply by scouring Twitter, we have our answers. That's a terrible idea. See, this is what's wrong with the world, right? Scouring Twitter. Twitter is used by a tiny minority of people in the world. A tiny minority! And they take it as the majority. Because the Twitter fanatics say that women are an oppressed underclass minority, even though they're not. If anybody says they're not an oppressed underclass minority, at that point they must be thrown off the tallest building possible. Again, Twitter isn't real, baby. Unfortunately, Twitter is real. it broke through into reality, didn't it? We have an answer which some might be quite different from what you're expecting. Personally, I think there should be somebody who isn't a Doctor Who fan but understands the show and the history as well as the lore. One person responded for our call showrunners. That's a very popular opinion right now. Like just a fresh approach. One of the things I liked about Death Comes to Time, which was a radio show that they did with Sylvester McCoy, and it wasn't great. It really wasn't great. But it was very different from anything we've seen before. Yeah, we had who was it? I can't remember his name. Lord Melchett is played by not Hugh Laurie. Stephen Fry as a Minister of Chance, another Time Lord, and we had I think Andrew Sachs was a Time Lord in it. It was a very different form of Doctor Who. I quite enjoyed it for that. I mean, I didn't think it was great, but I like the differenceness of it. I like the different view of it. But I think you need to be. I mean, how do you understand the show and its history if you're not a fan of it, right? That just seems to be like I don't understand the history and the lore of I don't know Button Moon, right? I don't know, or yeah, any number of Lord of the Rings, right? Lord of the Rings. I don't really know much about the history of the lore of Lord of the Rings. Am I a fan of it? Well, I guess I kind of am though, because I watch all the movies. I like them. But if you know history and lore, you're probably a fan of the thing, aren't you? It needs somebody who's completely fresh and new. It needs a complete change. I think they're reacting to how badly it's gone, right? How absolutely badly it's gone. And it's gone very, very badly. But not every fan agrees. For some going for old favourites, while others suggest less obvious choice on the wide world TV. Will any of them be right? Could the next Doctor Who showrunner be hidden somewhere within these responses? But now it's a mystery. Yeah, Hugh Fullerton, who wrote this article, has no frickin' idea. We might have at least assembled one or two suspects, starting with a familiar face. Both Stephen Moffat and Chris Chibnall were already new Who writers when they took over for the TARDIS. Took over the TARDIS. So plenty of fans that theorize the next showrunner should also come from that pool. Yeah, this is really the biggest debate. Do we go for the Fitzroy Tavern group, which we have people like what's it called again? Who found Web of Fear and Enemy of the World. Can't remember. Saying really not wanting it to come from the Fitzroy Tavern crowd. Fitzroy Tavern was a fan meetup pub in London. Was it second Thursday of every month? I used to go. I like the Fitzroy Tavern stuff, you know. And honestly speaking, I've liked New Who. I've liked Russel Davis Who. I like Stephen Moffat's Who. I like the Virgin New Adventures, which is very much Fitzroy Tavern-esque and Big Finish, very Fitzroy Tavern. I've liked all that Doctor Who, right? I up until recently. So yeah, listen, I'm fine with it being somebody within it, and I think might be a strong idea in that you need somebody who understands it, like who has practical knowledge of making this show, right? Who has been, because it's really gone off the rails. Names have cropped up regularly, including frequent Moffat collaborator Mark Gatiss, who has written more Who episodes than any other non-showrunner. Mark Gatiss would be an interesting choice. I think if he wanted to do it, he would be doing it, right? I think it's it's kind of like when David Letterman and Jay Leno were arguing over getting the Tonight Show, and the one of the things they came up with was that they'll give it to Jay Leno for 3 years and then to Dave Letterman afterwards, and Letterman was like, no, because by the time I get it, it's not going to be the Tonight Show anymore. I want the Tonight Show from Johnny Carson. Right, Leno did pretty darn well the Tonight Show, I have to say. It'll be a tainted brand. So I think that's where he is. Being human creator Toby Whithouse, oh man, I would love him to be the showrunner. He is so solid, right? And it'll bring a fresh eye to it. Honestly, I wish we had 2 Capaldi seasons with him, right? It'd be fantastic. Who wrote episodes for Tennant, Matt Smith, and Capaldi. Peter Harness, who has written 4 episodes, including the acclaimed Zygon Invasion, like Inversion 2-parter. See, I was a bit miffed with that one. It dealt with something really interesting. It dealt with the whole ISIS and radical Islamic terrorism being imported to Europe, Western Europe, because everybody just ran from ISIS. By the way, get ready for round two as everybody runs from the Taliban. Oh man, I read such a sad story. It really upset me. Again, I'm sure we've all seen this when the famous images of these planes taking off from Afghanistan, and people were so terrified of being stuck with the Taliban, they held on to the side of the plane to see if they could get taken to safety. Of course, it didn't work. They fell to their deaths. One of them, oh, God, it's so sad. One of them was a young soccer champion. Right? He knew his life. Oh, I feel terrible, absolutely terrible. But anyway, so this the Zygon invasion, Zygon inversion dealt with something really interesting of what happens when we got this population here, some of which are want to kill us all, right? Which is what Islamic, radical Islamic terrorism was doing around the time. And so they did it with that, and I thought that's Doctor Who at its best, asking great questions like that. Unfortunately, they blew it in the last in the second part when Peter Capaldi made a good speech and they went, "Oh, okay, then we won't be bad anymore." No. They should have dealt with it like they're ISIS. Like, we are dedicated to this point of view, and we're not leaving, no matter what. Right? That would have been much more of a downer, right? And it went against the narrative that they would like to have been like normative. But still much more real. Jamie Madsen, who penned a 3 fan favorite episode during the Capaldi Moffat is. Which ones did he do? I remember he did good whatever. They should have listened to these episodes. Mark Ellis will do an incredible job, right? And has several writing and acting credits for Doctor Who already. One fact, yeah, listen, we know. Toby Whitehouse, Jamie Madsen, Peter Harness, another good. Peter Harness, which one did he do? I think no, it wasn't. Is he the guy who did Luther? Right? Is that him? No, it's Neil Cross. Peter Harness did something. I can't remember what it was. I think we like it. Right? I think we like it. We can't remember. Toby Whitehouse must be one of the longest-serving guest writers Doctor's got. Yeah. Fine, we've gone through his name. The God Complex. I love that episode. Really creepy one. Love the lad. I like the Monk trilogy. I think they're all really good. And he's experienced showrunner experience through Being Human and Noughts and Crosses. Never saw Noughts and Crosses. Bit too current day BBC for me, but yeah. Also, he was the German soldier in Twice Upon the Time. Peter Arnes would also be great for identical reasons, as they added his time writing the sci-fi fantasy series like Jonathan Zane and Miss Norrell. Yeah, that's fantastic. War of the Worlds, which was garbage, right? Oh yeah, no, Peter Arnes, go away. Other Whovens candidate include 2-time scribe Pete McTeague. Not a chance. Not a chance. I don't think they're gonna hire somebody from this era of Doctor Who, right? Just not a chance. I understand he did the most Doctor Who looking episodes in Kablam, right? And we also wrote Praxis, which was just. That was bad. It wasn't quite as bad as Orphan 55, but it was bad. Phil Ford, yeah, possibly. I could see Russel Davis being an executive director with Phil Ford running it. They have a close working relationship. Neil Gaiman saying no. Other names included Face Raven and Thin Ice scribe Sarah Dollard, also known for her work on a discovery of witches and Bridgerton. I doubt they could get her now, right? I really doubt they could get her now. Honestly, I'm nervous about a female showrunner, and I wouldn't have been a few years ago, but now I am. It's listen, maybe a female showrunner will get has the ability to make good Doctor Who, right? Whereas the BBC would stop a male showrunner. I don't know. I mean, look, she wrote good episodes. Face the Raven's excellent. Thin Ice, both excellent, right? What will she be like on the larger arc? I mean, I don't know. Knock Knock, Mike Bartlett, and even the Doctor's wife, and like in Silver, Neil Gaiman, despite already no, Neil Gaiman's not doing it. Right, he'll be fantastic. Sally Wainwright. Now, this is who I think the BBC would cream themselves over getting. Sally Wainwright. If they ran the odds on Doctor Who showrunners like they do Doctors at this stage, Wainwright would be a bookie's favourite. Yeah, I agree. With a lot of rumours suggesting Last Tango in Halifax, Happy Valley, and Gentleman Jack Crater could be in line to take over the series. I think the BBC would love that. I'm not sure that she would be up for it. Right? Again, you know, it's how much she's going to be constrained by the BBC and what other opportunities she has. And also, she was already contracted by the BBC to do season 4 of Robin Hood. And she was going to base it very much on Russel T Davis' take on Doctor Who, and then they cancelled it from under. So I think there's some bad blood there. Well, she hasn't worked on the series before. She has more of a pedigree than you think. As Ray's executive explained, that she's already a popular choice with ads. I would personally love this. Who fan at Bad Wolf Archives wrote on Twitter. Well, if it's written on Twitter, it must be real. From the shows I've seen, she's fantastic. I mean, again, if you're telling me it's from Twitter, I think the thing they like about her is she has a vagina and she has successful television credits. I don't think that's what Twitter's like. What do you want me to tell you? The rumors of Sally Wainwright running Doctor seem pretty decent. Agreed. Darren Mooney, good for you, Darren. That they're saying their names, they're probably like crazy Twitterati. It was a BBC series as an ongoing concern worth directing. Pretty big deal towards. I think they do. It might be fun. To have not we run Doctor Who for a while. Okay. So J. Michael Strasinski we all talked about. I would like him a lot. Try Big Finish. Not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. I mean, love Nick Briggs. I don't think he'll be that great though in it, and I think he's a great writer. I really like his stuff. I give a complete recommendation to his original audio series, Human Frontier. I thought that was clever, introspective, but see, I think he's a little bit too cerebral for Doctor Who. In fact, if you go and listen to his Dark Eye series, that's his take on what he would do as showrunner Doctor Who. And I think where Russel T Davis really brought something in, it's like a showmanship. You know, you got to have big explosions. It's a big show doing big stuff, right? It's and like it's got to be crowd pleasing. It's got to connect to a wide audience. Captain Jack, for example, was originally called Captain Jax, Jax, but he was like, yeah, but they're just going to put off the normies, right? And Russel T Davis was very good at writing for normies, right? As well as Doctor Who fans as well. I don't think Nicola could do it. So his tweet says, "I'm writing a script. This is in response to Twitter asking me what's happening. I've also just had lunch. Not interesting, but true. Might be a good script. Might be a nice lunch." Nick Briggs, The Wider World of Sci-Fi. Ronald D. Moore. I think BBC would again be ecstatic with Ronald D. Moore. There are a few left field choices that come from elsewhere in genre. It's long-standing US titans and comedy TV comedy lectures hit was it here in the UK. Again, Ray Flo. I have no idea why you think that everyone's mad about an American running Doctor Who. Maybe the Twitterati is, right? But I haven't really seen it there either. But maybe they are. I don't know. Don't be mad about Twitter, mate, okay? Although they haven't written for Doctor Who yet, Rob Grant, Doug Naylor from Red Dwarf certainly have experience with long-running sites. Yeah, right now, Red Dwarf has been out. They have a company ready, willing, and able to make more Red Dwarf. And has been out of production because Rob Grant and Doug Naylor are I think, suing each other for control of Red Dwarf or something. I don't know. There's some legal wranglings going on. What do I think is Doug Naylor more than Rob Grant as showrunner? I mean, I know he could pull together a decent looking show, right? I know he could pull together a decent looking show. It all depends on the writing staff that he grabs. Like if he goes for like traditional writing staff, he could be good. He could be good, right? I generally speaking, I think Red Wolf is excellent. Yeah, I think it's easier writing drama than comedy. Ron D. Moore ran Deep Space Nine and Battlestar Galactica excellently, and Outlander, which is essentially based on Jamie McCrimmon, as played by Fraser Hines. James Epperson, I don't think she'll be a good fit. I think Caprica and Jessica Jones were both duds in my mind. Jessica Jones was really disappointing. I mean, even though it had David Tennant in it. Jessica Jones, Alias, it was based on the comic book Alias, which was fantastic. One of the best comics I've ever written. Not written. I've ever read. I wish I'd wrote it. But the TV show I thought was turgid, right? And the reason the comic book was so good is because you had that incredible Marvel universe in the background, and they were in the low level stuff was where you're focusing. Like, for example, Jessica Jones was going on a date with Ant-Man, right? And in the background, there's like Dr. Octopus or something attacking something, and she's like, "You need to go and put your costume on." I said, "Nah, we'll give it a miss." But having in the background really worked. I think it really just failed. It just failed when the Netflix show. But I'm very sad. Never seen the OC. And Torture's season 4. Ooh, not that good. But again, on the subject of female writers, James Epperson did some of the full series of Tortured, and absolutely effing rules. Look, LTD Dangerous, who wrote that. I just assume that you like that she has a vagina and successes, right? I think that's what you like more than anything else. Or make a big change. Let's see what the big change is. One of the difficulties in predicting the next Doctor Who show runs is that there are so few candidates exist who match the profile we've seen from the last 3. Well, I think you can find a few screw ups to the level of Chibnall, right? You want to do more Chibnall? See if you can get Alex Kurtzman on. I mean, he's being paid a lot by CBS, but I don't think he's doing much work. A major industry figure in their own right who's created and run their own shows before and has long experience with Doctor Who as well. Well, again, we tried that with Chibnall and it failed terribly. With this in mind, some have wondered if the modern showrunner model of Doctor Who could continue at all, looking at examples of other shows, perhaps like the partnership of writer Michael Warden and director Kate Herron on Loki, which was turgid and awful, or writer Jack Horn and executive Jen Tranter on his Dark Material. Well, Jen Tranter did basically the one who brought back Doctor Who. My suggestion is drop all the powerful. My show is precious. I am a mastermind behind the public face at Panjadrum, whatever that means. Showrunner role. One Radio Times reader said. Just hire a good producer, someone. Well, Doctor Who's not like that. Doctor Who has a definite public persona, it's like, and it's part of the role. That's why they couldn't get anybody to take over from John Nathan Turner. He was very good at being a showman, right? He was very good at promoting the show. Promoting Doctor Who is part of running Doctor Who. Hire a good producer, someone with the sense to delegate the experience, professionalism, and taste to find the right person to delegate. Basically, you're talking about Philip Hinchcliffe, right? They don't come around too often, but that's who Philip Hinchcliffe was. In my opinion, I think they should go back and find producers and script editors personally. I don't know. I just don't think that's how TV is made nowadays. I think everything's got to be events TV. Of course, BBC are already struggling in the recruitment process. I'll happily volunteer for Terrence. He wrote, joking aside, why not give a fans go? Open up competition for fans, story ideas, and build the best ones. Well, listen, I've always thought the BBC needs to turn into a social media platform, right? The whole thing about paying Gary Lineker like millions and millions of pounds to comment on football, it just seems crazy. If they started a YouTube-esque social media platform where they could post their content and have people talk about it and comment on it, and you have regular Joes like me posting their own content as well, and you recruit from the people who build up their own audience, right? That I sounds like a good idea to me, but I doubt this is ever going to happen, because the BBC, people working at the BBC, they like one thing, no matter how much they say they want. Like a bit of a Zarbi action here. No matter how much they say they want, equality and diversity, what they really want is power, and they don't want to get rid of the power. So there you go. There you go. A rundown of the people who may be taking over Doctor Who. Nobody really knows right now. They've got Ashley Farrow here as well as one of the suggestions and tags. Nobody really knows. Matthew Graham, Peter Harness, Russel T Davis. Yeah, again, nobody really knows. It all depends who they could talk into it, who would say yes. There's so many factors, and I think anybody telling you anything that's not an official BBC press release, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. No one knows anything. That's a pretty good place to end. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin. I don't know anything. You don't know anything. I kind of like how we ended on a note of sameness between one another. Have yourselves a freaking awesome day and a fantastic weekend.